And once again, please watch your step with the rails. A small point of interest as we're walking out, that car right there is a troop carrier from World War II. During the Second World War, the United States military would produce many of these cars in order to move troops through the United States and get them to their harbors for departure into the European or Asian theaters. This one was built for the Lackawanna Railroad. We are in the process of going to be restoring it. So keep checking in with us, and eventually we'll get to see this fully restored. If you have any interest, you might have been here during Railfest. We had our Iron Horse Society, our friends group. They were doing a fundraiser to help get that ready. If you are interested in helping out, take a look around the park. If you see the donation box for Iron Horse Society, always feel free to drop $1 or $2 in, and that'll help put that back into running, into museum order.
Okay, cool.
And I'll bring you into the shade here. All right. So the reason why I wanted to bring you out here, and usually this is where I would bring you anyway. If you look out this way, you'll see that very long building with the white roof line there. It looks like it could be multiple floors or multiple rooms. Believe it or not, it is one open room. That is the erecting hall for Lackawanna Rail, built in 1908. If that year sounds familiar to you, once again it should, because that was when this building was stopped being used as the locomotive works. They could work on 40 locomotives at any given time from that building. It was one of their largest repair facilities for the Lackawanna Railroad. Remember, 500 locomotives were based out of the city of Scranton. They could produce a locomotive from scratch in that building if they really wanted to. They never did for tax reasons, but they could. It had a 2-story forge, a foundry, a pattern shop. It even had its own gas works where they could take anthracite coal and turn it into hydrogen and carbon monoxide gas for welding and other purposes. It was a very self-reliant building, and so eventually that replaces this building. The end of our original building is right about where Bay 8 here ends. That would have been the end of the 1865 shop. Now, at the height of this railroad, there would have been about 2,000 to 3,000 employees working for the Lackawanna in the city of Scranton alone. That was between the rail yard, between the shops, between the roundhouse, and between the shops over there. It was one of the largest employers in the city, next to the coal mines. But when you have the height of anything, you do eventually have a downturn, right? And our downturn came with the diesel locomotive. Diesel technology really kind of started out in the late 20s, early 30s. Wasn't very powerful, not very efficient, didn't go very far. Typically, these diesels replaced smaller switching locomotives like our Baldwin 26 or Engine 8 in our technology museum. However, following World War II, diesel technology had greatly improved. It became more powerful, more efficient, could go farther. Still wasn't more powerful than a steam locomotive, but it required less maintenance. The average steam locomotive will spend somewhere between 60 to 65% of its life in a workshop being worked on, whether that's in the roundhouse or in that facility. The average diesel locomotive, 20% of its life. That is a huge shift. For the adults in the group, imagine buying a 2024 model vehicle But the caveat that comes with it is you're going to have to bring it back to the shop every 200 miles or so for maintenance. If you buy that 2025 model vehicle, however, you can drive it just like you drive your car today. Which car do you want? Probably the 2025 model, right?
Yeah.
For the kids in the group, imagine if you had to bring your bike or scooter back to your parents every time you rode it to be maintained. Do you want that bike or scooter?
No.
Probably not. You're going to want something that you can ride more often, right? So this is how the railroads looked at it. They could save money on time. They could save money on parts. They could save money on labor. 2,000 to 3,000 employees in the 1920s. A lot of them worked in these shops. Lackawanna Railroads could be one of the first railroads in the United States to start the process of buying diesels. The only thing that prevents them from turning over all at once is how fast the manufacturers can make them. General Electric comes to the Lackawanna Railroad and they strike a deal. They say, if you buy your engines exclusively with us, we will build you your own repair shop. Kind of a hard deal to pass. That's like somebody saying, we'll give you your own mechanic at your home to maintain your car. You never have to take it to the dealership again. That's a hard deal to pass up. They strike that deal. Behind us here, and you'll see when we go inside, this will become a part of the diesel works. The few tracks that you see inside will eventually replace that entire building. That's a lot of jobs lost. The railroad will pick their favorite workers from that building. They will bring them over here, teach them how to work on diesel technology. Everybody else, as the work starts to dry up,
Wow.
they let them go. Sure, they could go work in the coal mines, but who was buying coal in the 1950s? Deep coal mining in this area ended by 1959 with the Knoxville mine disaster, where coal miners on their way out of a closing mine were doing what was called robbing the pillars. They were taking the supports of that mine and taking coal.
Yeah.
Their mine was a little too close to the bottom of the Susquehanna River. It caves in, flooding a lot of the mines in the area.